Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Hello, can you hear me? If you just joined, please can you hear me? Yeah, good morning, Mr. Richie Denyimansa. Anyimansa. Can you hear me? I hope you people can hear me. Yo, Brenny, what's up? All right. All right. Okay, so let's move straight to the chat. So sometimes waking up is kind of discouraging. Like sometimes you don't feel like your body don't feel like moving on. Your body don't feel like moving to grind. But you see something, you have to keep on pushing. You get it. Sometimes it feels discouraging. Sometimes you feel like nah, things are not working out. You feel like, oh Charlie, this thing is not going to take me anywhere. But Charlie, you have to keep on going. Okay, no matter what. I always say, so far as someone is doing it and seeing results, even if it's going to take you a decade, just keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. It will not make sense to some other party. You get it? It will not make sense to other party. But when it starts making sense, they themselves will just attest to that or testify. So just keep it low key, do your own thing, and keep on doing. But you have to always push it, no matter what. So as I'm saying, sometimes it feels discouraging. You feel like just giving up. You feel like, and you have to know that even if you want to live the life, you can't be doing the normal work and expect positive expectancy. It's very hard. Okay, so sometimes even if I wake up, I feel like just stopping. I should stop this thing and that stuff. But I have to keep on. You get it? It will make sense one day. That's all. All right. So today is what? What? Today is 8th. Okay. Today is 8th of January. 8th of January. So we are gradually ending January. 2025 has begun and we are gradually going to end the January. What have you achieved so far? You promise yourself you are going to make millions this year. How much have you made so far? All right. Oh, you started making the thousands of dollars. You started making the thousands of dollars. So let's see. Up next, what is the news? It's very important to check the fundamentals. Timing is very important. You see, Monday the trade was looking good, but the timing was wrong, and we got everything wrong. So timing is very important. So we are January 8th. What are the fundamentals? Euro. I think you're having CHF news today, or it wasn't today. I was thinking we are having Euro news today. So we are in NFP week, and you know when it is NFP week, if you are not lucky or if you are not careful, you are going to be trapped. Like mostly NFP weeks are not profitable weeks, so we need to be very careful. You need to be very careful. You need to wait for high probability setup before you execute. So today you are going to be having ADP. Okay, you are going to be having ADP news. This is a high impact news. Okay, this is a high impact news. So aside that, the lending session, we don't have any news events. We don't have any news events, and I hope by now you have to understand. And we are going to be having FOMC meeting too today. Wow. So after the lending session, we are going to be having the market might be slow, or I've seen FOMC when we are going to be having FOMC and still the market moves. So you just have to play your cards well. Maybe an hour before the news, you don't have to execute. An hour before the news, you don't have to execute trades. So this one, for instance, ADP, an hour before the ADP is going to be ranging before the news gets released. You get it? So we just have to be careful. All right. Okay, so I think yesterday I dropped some. So that's all for the fundamentals. Okay, so you've checked the fundamentals. There's no news event. The rest that is done on us, or the rest that is left, is for us to wait an hour, okay, before we execute a trade. an hour before the news event, an hour to the main active market session before we execute a trade. All right, so yesterday I dropped an analysis on GBP USD and it was looking very, very good. But one thing I was expecting this one to be doing is what? So I hope now you have to you have to understand ADP by now. Okay, you have to understand ADP. You have to understand FOMC. So FOMC simply means Federal Open Market Committee. Okay, so after the analysis, after the technicals, you get back to the fundamentals and explain what it means. Okay, so yesterday I dropped an analysis on GBP USD. So it was the same analysis we dropped on this one. It moved during the Asian session or the Tokyo session. Okay, it moved during the Tokyo session. It moved during the Tokyo session. So for now, we are going to be waiting for a clear entries confirmation. Okay, we are going to be looking for a clear entry confirmation before we execute trades. That's the most important thing. Okay, so let me remove this risk to reward tool from there before someone take a trade on that. So as I said, I drop an analysis on GBP USD. So let's look to the chart and see what I saw before. So this is a high probability setup. But one thing you have to understand is what last year I was talking about this thing. We have entry and setup. Okay. We have an entry and what you call setup. So this is what you call setup, but there was no entry yet. You get it? Entry is when you see entry is when you see rejectional candles. So it can be maybe sellers rejectional candle, something of this. Okay, something like it with a long wick. With a long wick before you now confirm, oh, the market is ready for us to execute. Other than that, the market is not ready yet. Yesterday was what? Why the market? Brain, what happened yesterday? The market, you killed the market or the market killed you? So since last month, I've not seen any clear setup yet. What happened? What happened? So as I'm saying, this is the entry confirmation. Okay, so now the market has done what I said exactly. As in, I'm waiting for the breakout for the market to pull back. Okay, so you will do the top down analysis for us to know. So this was a confluence, this was a confluence area. Okay, when we talk about confluence area, it means what? Like you're having multiple confluences around the side, like multiple trade technical tools or technical analysis. I don't know how to even put it. Multiple confirmations around the side. Let me put this way: multiple confirmations around the side. Okay, before we execute. So this level is a strong area. Okay, everything is pointing in our favor. The things that we normally look for, we said the daily and H4 should be in line and other stuffs, and everything is what? Moving down. So let's let's clear everything and do reanalysis. Since it was just a setup that I dropped, it wasn't the analysis. So let's look at what I saw before seeing those things. So moving to the monthly time frame. If you move to the monthly time frame, what am I seeing? So yesterday, what happened, Bernie? Mr. Jerry Graham, what happened? Okay, so the monthly time frame, you're having this rejectional level over here. You're having this rejectional level over here. You get it. You have another rejectional level over here. At the monthly time frame. So these are the only rejectional level we indicated on the monthly time frame. Okay, these are the only rejectional level. So moving to the weekly time frame. Okay, so I hope by now you people understand why I'm drawing this. So I'm saying this is the current market price. Okay, so if we are trying to indicate, or if you are trying to plot out your support and resistance level, you have to always make sure the support and resistance level are close to the current market price. So let me take this my time to analyze this one, because I think we are having an opportunity trade. It looks like there was a trade opportunity or trade opportunity on this pair. So when you are drawing your support and resistances, okay, so this is what an uptrend over here. Okay, the market was trending up over here. So if you are trying to indicate your support and resistances, so price moved high, low, impulse, correction, impulse. So if the market is coming down, it is going to come down to this side. But you see the candle, this candle has already broken below this one. I think it tested this one, and this candle broke below. Okay, so this one now became invalid. So now it's retested on this one. You can see it for yourself that the candle closed exactly on the support level. You get it? The candle closed exactly on the support level. So it tells you what this level was very strong. So you see now this is an ongoing candle and it hasn't closed yet. You get it? This candle hasn't closed yet. This candle hasn't closed yet. So it tells you this level is still strong. So for us to get the body of the candle, the body of the point wall, we need to turn it towards a line chart. Okay, so you see how exactly the horizontal line is reflecting, or what is pointing on the level exactly. You can see it for yourself. It is pointing on it exactly. You get it? So that's all what we need to indicate. So I brought this one because it's still valid. You get it? Because when price is coming down, it is going to come down. The next rejectional level is at this side. You get it? The next rejectional level. So if price is moving down, there's no rejection. The rejectional level that price is going to suffer before it can break is at this level. Okay, so this level is still valid, because if price has broken this one, anytime price will break a resistance, now it is going to tend to what anytime price will break a support, the moment the candle breaks and close below, it now tends to what? A resistance. You get it? It now tends to a resistance, and if it is coming back, it is going to retest on the resistance, unless maybe the candle break and close above the resistance level. You get it? So for now, it's still valid. So let's move to the weekly time frame. So moving to the weekly time frame, what's the trend for the weekly time frame? Using your trend line, you can see the market was trending hot. The market was a downtrend at the weekly time frame. So why am I saying it's a downtrend? Why am I saying it's a downtrend? So it was doing more of higher high, higher low, higher high, looking left. So anytime you are reading the market, you need to start from your left side and read it to your right side. Okay, so up to this side, the market was still trending up, trending down, trending up, trending down. Okay, impulse, correction, impulse. So all these points, the market was what? An uptrend. You get it? All these points, the market was an uptrend. The market was still an uptrend at this point. You get it? So where it's invalidated, where the trend got invalidated, where did the trend get invalidated? So the moment price broke this side, the body of the candle broke above this one, this trend turned towards a downtrend. You get it? The body of the candle closed above this one, it turned towards an uptrend, because it has broken the high, it has broken the low. So now at this point, the market is what? A downtrend, made a retest, came up again, came down. So there was an impulse. Impulse simply means when the direction of the market is in what? The direction of the market, as in the move is in the direction of the market. Okay, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse. Currently doing what? Correcting. All right, it is currently correcting. It is currently correcting. Okay, or it is correction simply, or it's also known as what? A pullback. It is currently pulling back. Okay, so that is when you are going to apply your trend line. So if you are applying your trend line, you need to make sure what you are getting two touches. Okay, with the trend line, it needs to get two touches. Okay, so you're having one touch, two touch at this point. So if it is coming down, this one has been invalidated. So you start again, one touch. So you plot it from the higher level, the as in the high the how should I even put it? The highest price level, okay, at where it made a rejection. So at this pullback over here, where was the highest price level? Okay, so the highest price level was at this point, and what this point when price pulled back. So the pullback I'm talking about was when price there was an impulse correction over here. There was an impulse correction over here. Okay, so this turning point, where was the highest point? Where was the highest point? That's what you are talking about over here. Okay, so you can see price made a pullback. There was a turning point over here. At this point too, there was a turning point over here. So this is the high. This was the high. Okay, you can see the various turning points. You get it? So these are the various turning points. So you can see as price moved. So this one has been invalidated because if you are drawing this one, it is going to come over here. So this is the current one. Okay, so you can see as price moved, it's put back over here. So you can see the multiple touches. This one to what? Touch this one. This one is currently pulling back on this one. You get it? So it tells you how strong the dynamic resistance is. So this is a dynamic resistance, or also known as what? A dynamic what? It's also known as what? A trend line. You get it? That's it. So it doesn't. If you know how to, if you understand, the trend. If you understand how to identify market structure, the trend line is not a problem, because the trend line just help you. It's just an additional confirmation. It doesn't change anything, just an additional confirmation too. Okay, so the weekly time frame currently, what's the weekly trend? So you are trying to identify where we are going to take our decision, our directional bias. So the sectional bias. So our directional bias now becomes what we are trying to. So we are going to bring multiple time frames together to indicate or to come out with a conclusion on which decision you are going to make, either to what, buy or sell. Okay. So after we've identified the trend, that the weekly time frame is what? The weekly time frame is what? A downtrend. The weekly time frame is now a downtrend. Weekly time frame is a downtrend. So we are not done with the support and resistance level. So this is the current market price. Okay, this is the current market price. So you can see the various hidden lines. So if you want to see the current market price, you can see it over here. Okay, you see the current market price. So current market price is what? 1.24926. So that means what? If you have £1, what it simply means is what? If you have £1, okay, if you have £1 and in case maybe you want to exchange it for the dollars, you are going to be paying 1.24930 for you to be able to get $1. Okay, and if you have dollar and you want to exchange it for pound, you need to have like 1.24930 dollars for you to be able to get £1. That's what it means. Okay, so the current market price over here is what the price for what the quote currency. I hope this is just the basics, and if you are here, you have already been taught about this thing. So if you want to know the current market price, this is the price for the quote currency. You get it? This is the quote currency. This is not the price for what. So anything that you are seeing on the chart is for what? It's an indication or just a depiction for what? The quote currency. And at this instance, what is the quote currency? What's the name of the quote currency? Who can tell me? This is GBP USD. What's the name of the quote currency? Who can tell me for in the chat box? Who can tell me in the chat box for us to proceed? What's the quote currency? So GBP USD, what's the quote currency over here? So USD, all right. So now the quote currency, thank you, Mr. Williams. So the quote currency is now the USD. You get it? The quote currency is now the USD. So after we are done, let's try. So this is the current market price. So let's try and what? Let's try and identify the various support and the rejectional levels that is close to what? The current market price. So if price is heading up, for instance, if price is heading up, where is the next rejectional level? You have to look left. Okay, you have to look left. The reason is what? You have to know which one is valid and which one is invalid. If price is moving down, it is going to retrace moving left. Okay, so this one, if you join the bootcamp, I will just take you through. I'll get my time and I'll explain things further to you. So we are currently going to be having a bootcamp on 15th of November. Those who have joined the bootcamp before knows the value that is in the bootcamp when you join. So you can join the bootcamp and you get the explanation very well. This is a live market, and I will not be getting time to explain things further to you people. All right. So this is the weekly time frame. So if price is moving down, it's going to get rejected over here. So this is the current market price. This is the current rejectional level. Okay, so you can see how strong this level is. We're having multiple rejectional level over here at the weekly time frame. Okay, so that's the only thing that we are going to be indicating. So if price is coming down, we need to know where we are going to be taking profit. So if price is coming down, it is going to come down to this side. You get it? It's going to come down to this side. All right. So that's it for the various rejectional levels. So that's it for the weekly time frame. So let's move to the daily time frame and see. So with the daily time frame, so that's where the big deal is. So the daily time frame looks very, very well. So let me change this one. This one I'll even clear it. So the daily time frame looks very clean. Okay, but one thing is what? The candle never closed with what? The candle never closed. The candle closed with no wick at the top. That's the problem now. Okay, the candle closed with no wick at the top. Okay, so let's analyze the daily time frame. So let's try and pull up our. So what's the daily time frame doing? So with the daily time frame, so this is a high probability setup. Okay, because we're having multiple. So when I talk about high probability setup, that means I'm having multiple confluences. Okay, multiple confluences. So looking at the daily time frame, the daily time frame even looks, it's looking like one of my favorites. Like it is giving my favorite tree setup. Okay, so what's the trend for the daily time frame? You can see the daily time frame was downtrend, made some consolidation over here. Price moved down. Price is now pulling back. It has broken out from this consolidation level. Price broke out, made a pullback, now creating a resistance over here. You get it? Price is now creating a resistance over here. But one thing is what, the candle was closed with no wick at the top. That's the problem at the daily time frame. You could have even executed at the daily time frame. So let's try and what, move this level to this side. Let's adjust it by changing the color so that you'll be able to know which time frame level is. Okay, so the daily time frame is actually looking good for a sell, but one thing is what, the candle, the previous candle, yesterday candle, closed with no wick at the top. So let's try and adjust our trend line very well. So if you are trying to adjust your trend line, okay, if you are trying to adjust your trend line, you need to look for two touches. Okay, two touches. So when the turning point, the highest point, so this one, if you are trying to bring it over here, I think it's going to be invalidated. So let's start from this side. So you can see the trend line also touch, so you can see it over here. You can see it over here. We having one touch, we having another touch. So this one tried to break, but what, it's got rejected and came back. So we're having multiple confluences over here. You see, so this is a point, it's an area of what, interest. Okay, because you're having this horizontal line over here, at the same time trend line is meeting over here. So this is what, this is an area you need to pay attention to. This is an area you need to pay attention to. You get it? So you could have even executed a sell, because this is one of my favorite trade setup. Okay, but as I'm saying, you could have executed a sell when the candle starts flipping. Okay, but the daily time frame, based on the daily time frame, but one thing is what, the daily time frame closed, the previous candle closed with no wick at the top. Okay, so that's the issue now. So now the daily time frame is a downtrend. We're having multiple confluences over here, trend line, and at the same time the support, the resistance line, they are all meeting at what, a particular point. You get it? They are all meeting at a particular point. So this is an area of interest. It is an interest area. If you are looking left to, there was a clean price action looking left. Okay, was clean price action looking left. So the chances that price is going to fall like a mango falling from a tree is very high. Okay, so this is a high probability setup. So let's move to the H4 time frame. So this is what I was expecting it. This is what I was expecting it to happen before the 6 o'clock candle. I was expecting the 6 o'clock candle at the H4 time frame to create something like a support. Okay, a resistance. This candle to create a resistance before you execute a sell. So let's pull up our risk to reward to so what's the trend for the daily time, the H4 time frame? So the H4 time frame, price broke out, made a red test, broke out, so you see higher highs and higher lows. So from last week, price was trending up. Okay, price was trending up. So I think, so with this trade I wanted to see a candle confirmation, but here is the case, this candle never closed. So the price was trending down. Okay, price was trending down. So let's price was trending down. You get it? So you can see when it comes to the H4 time frame, you see the trend line is aligning with what, the level that we drew. So this is an H, so you can see price has gotten rejected, and this is not any other time frame than the weekly time frame. You get it? This is a weekly time frame, so it's a strong confirmation. And with a weekly time frame, for every week a candle, it takes a week for a candle to what, close and a candle to open. Okay, so it's a very strong time frame. So if you are seeing a turning point, it tells you that it took a long time for it to what, to be formed or created. You get it? It took a long time for it to form or to be created. So this is what, an area of interest. Okay, so when the military people or when the police service says this area is what, an area of interest, that means like they have to keep an eye on that area. Okay, maybe there can be we can be having some violence having happening at that area more often or something. So when I say this is an area of interest, it means that what we are having like a lot of rejection, a lot of confluence. Okay, a lot of things aligning at this point. Okay, so the H4 time frame too. So this is the point where the trend shifted towards a downtrend. So it was an uptrend. The moment this point got broken, price just broke. It is now pulling back. So I was trying to wait for this rejectional level that has happened at the daily time frame. So you see what happened at the daily time frame. This resistance got created. So I was expecting the same resistance to be created, this candle to close bearish candle, so that we can take an impulse move to get where we are going to place our stop loss. But at this point, it's going to be very tough to for the entry, even though everything is looking right. But I wanted to use the H4 candle to make a decision. Okay, so the H4 time frame too is a downtrend. Okay, so what decision are we going to be making now? Or so having three time frames, higher time frames in the same direction: weekly downtrend, daily downtrend, H4 downtrend. All these time frames are what pointing down. So you need to move with the direction of the market. So this is going to be what a sell. So this is going to be a sell. Okay, so our decision, our sectional bias, that's the lending session, is going to be what a sell, unless maybe we see a shift in trend before what we change or shift our direction, our bias. Okay, so price has broken out, it has now pulled back. So at what point, how are you going to enter the sell? And now we are having this resistance over here. So let me delete this one. Okay, so how are we going to enter the sell? That's the problem now. Okay, so initially I wanted this candle to close bearish. Okay, I wanted this candle to close bearish, then I would take an impulse move. So let's move to the lower time frames. So you can see the lower time frames too is making some consolidations over here. Price is consolidating around this side. So the best way to enter is to wait for maybe, so currently price is testing on this one. Okay, so you need to see a shift in structure or a shift in trend. So maybe you are going to be waiting for the H candle to break and close below this one. Okay, the setup is looking good for a sell, but the entry has now become problem for me on I don't know how to even enter it, because you have to know where you are going to place your stop loss. Okay, you have to know where you are going to place your stop loss, unless maybe I go in aggressively. So the risk to reward too is also looking good. The risk to reward, I think it's close to 90 pips, and the risk is like 23-25 pips. So that's the problem now. But lending hasn't started yet. So lending, if this candle close bearish, I think I would have even taken an impulse move. So you see, the analysis has played out perfectly. I said price is going to pull back and the trend is going to continue. But now the entry, this is what I was expecting. Maybe a resistance to be created. Okay, maybe a rejectional candle forming over here. A rejectional candle. So either you are going to wait for the rejectional candle, or so this is what I was expecting. So You get it? This is what I was expecting it to happen. Then we take the flip. If the next candle flip, you can get a place to place your stop loss over here. So we still have to be patient, okay, because this is an NFP week, and if you rush the process, I think it's you might be you can get discipline. This is an NFP week, so we need to wait patiently for the confirmation. So we are still going to, so let's wait for the H1 candle to, so if the H1 candle close above, I think we will enter impulse. But I think the best would have been maybe waiting for this H4 candle to close. But waiting for this H4 candle to close, you might miss the trade because it's going to drop massively. Okay, or maybe, but using the daily time frame to the stop loss is going to be very wide. Okay, so maybe it would have been if the daily time frame start flipping. Okay, I think that one would be the best idea. But the daily time frame close with no wick, so yeah. So if the daily time frame start flipping, okay. If the daily time frame start flipping, so the sellers, the sell looks like it is starting. So I think the entry is going to be at the daily time frame. The moment the daily time frame start flipping, okay. The moment it change direction, but so maybe the stop loss will be the previous 22 pips. Yeah, so I think that would be the deal. Okay, let me see. Maybe I'll enter. I'm going to use the daily based on the daily time frame. I'm going to use the previous, if the daily time frame starts flipping. Okay. If the daily time frame starts flipping, but my stop loss will be the previous daily low. Okay. If it starts flipping bearish, I don't want it to break the previous low again. Yeah, so so that would be, so I'll be using the daily time frame for an entry. I'll be using the daily time frame because the daily time frame is the one giving us the resistance, not the H4 time frame. So the stop loss is going to be, so the stop loss will be here. If it breaks, if the daily time frame breaks, so the moment I see the daily time frame flipping, turning bearish, I'll go in. So what's going to be the stop loss? So the stop loss is going to be close to 25 pips. The risk reward is looking good. So maybe it will be like, but I have to see the daily time frame changing to a bearish candle. Please, can we use the monthly for stop loss? Stop loss is going to be wide. Monthly what? Your stop loss is going to be wide. Is it monthly current low or what? So I'm going to use the previous candle daily high. Maybe decision making over here has become tough. I don't know whether to wait for the H1 to close or I should enter immediately it flips bearish. But the decision is based on the daily time frame. Okay, because your daily time frame is what is giving me the confluence. The daily time frame is what is giving me the confluence. The daily time frame is what is giving me the confluence. So I'm hoping maybe the H1 time frame is going to give us the closure of the H1 time frame. Yeah, it's still not yet ready. Using the monthly time frame, so you need to always, anytime you are entering a trade, please don't ignore your the risks. Okay, don't ignore risks. So if you don't know the amount you are risking, always factor into consideration your stop loss. If you really need the account, always factor. You need to always factor. So the reason why a lot of people are saying trading doesn't work because they don't factor into consideration the risks. They just use any loss size. Please don't be a victim of that. Always make sure you know the amount you are risking. You get it? Always make sure you know the amount you are risking per trade. Know the amount you are risking per trade. It is very, very important. Don't be ignorant about that. You get it? Factor your risks. If you are risking 1% per trade, you see your account, you are going to trade the account for a very long time. Okay. You need to make sure. Yeah, so I might wait for the H1 candle to close. You need to make sure you are calculating your risks. It is very important, so don't overlook risks. A lot of people don't pay attention, they just use any loss size, and the moment things start going down, see they are losing big amounts of money, and their accounts are that even a small account. Trading is a game of chances. Okay, the game of chances. So don't say, oh, this even looks good, so you are going to risk. So sometimes a high probability setup is even going to fail. You guys always pay attention to risk. Risk is as important as your strategy. Okay, you are a risk taker. Every morning when you come to the market, you need to ask yourself, how much am I willing to risk, or how much am I willing to lose, before you even think of the reward. The reward, if you do the right thing and if the market decides to move in your favor, the reward will be secondary. So always make sure you are determining the amount you are going to lose. How much am I going to lose per trade? It is very, very important, folks. Risk is very, very important, as you spent a lot of time on what? Trying to figure out strategy. Risk too is as well important. Don't just make up your mind that every trade you are going to execute is going to go in your favor. That's not how it works. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so the trade looks good. This is a very strong confirmation. This is a strong level. It's a strong area of interest. This is a strong area of interest. This candle should have closed bearish. You would have taken the impulse move. But we're still waiting. So the news is going to happen around 1:15. That's when the news is going to happen. But aside that, there's no news event. So this is today is this thing. Waiting for the 30 minute closure. So but even with those things, I'm not my focus is not on those time frames. My focus is on the daily time frame. You see me for me, I use those time frame for my entries, the H4, unless maybe price has closed before I will look for a shift in structure at the lower time frame. But when it comes to my entry confirmation, I normally use the higher time frames. Okay. So if I'm taking a sell, I'm focusing my this thing, my thought process is based on the daily time frame. Okay. But one thing that is making me confused is the daily time frame closure wasn't didn't give a wick. Okay. It never gave a wick. Okay. It never gave a wick. So maybe I'll just be taking the flip of the daily time frame. The moment I see it flipping, then my stop loss is going to be the previous low of the daily time frame, because if it comes back and break the low again, I'm not expecting it to come back and break the high again. Okay, I'm not expecting it to break the high again. So we are still looking for so, but we need to wait for the candle. So we are still waiting for the candle confirmation. So with the 4 hour, for instance, we have like 2 hours for it to close. And with the 2 hours, it's going to close around 10. So with the 10 o'clock, you'll be 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1. ADP2 is around the corner. ADP2 is around the corner. ADP is around the corner. Everything is looking good for a sell. Everything is looking good for a sell on this trade. This week too is an NFP week. NFP week. So guys, what do you guys think? Should you go in impulsively? Looking at the H1 time frame, price hasn't closed, but it has tested on the level. The 30 minute hasn't closed. It has tested on the level exactly. The risk reward is looking good. I think 1 to 3 or so. Using the daily low. Yeah, so maybe you might break. So even at this point is what? Even at this point it's what, 1 to 2. So the risk reward is looking good for this trade. So what are your thought process, guys? What do you guys think? Is it a daily flip? Is it a daily flip? But I'm very sure during the lending session we might. Yeah, so I'm going to stay patient. Okay, I'm going to stay patient and just look at things. I wanted to take the daily flip. I wanted to take the daily flip, but I'm still looking at things. So let me watch out at the daily time frame. At the daily time frame. Yeah, the daily time frame flip, but you know what is getting me confused? The daily time frame closed with no wick. The daily time frame closed with no wick. That's the problem. But the daily time frame flip would have been the best. Daily time frame flip looks good. Yeah. So my focus is not on the smaller time frames like the H1 or M30. My focus is on the daily time frame. My focus is on the daily time frame. My focus is on the daily time frame. So let's maybe during the lending session. So we have like 30 minutes for the lending session to start. So that during the lending session, you might see a flip. During the lending session, you might see a flip. Yeah, so yeah, so the it is trying to flip the daily time frame. Let me look at the H4 time frame. I'm kind of conservative because I'm thinking of the week we are in. I'm thinking of the week we are in. as in the NFP week and other stuffs. The daily flip. Yeah, so close approaching. So let me check the stop loss. 25, let's say 25 pips. So the daily has almost flipped. Okay, maybe I will enter small position based on the daily time frame. Kind of. The H1 has been closed. Okay, so it has flipped. The 30 minutes has closed. Okay. So I took a sell. I took a sell over here. So the stop is going to be here. Based on the flip. So if it comes back and break this one, I'll be out from the trade. Okay, so come back. So you need to manage your risks and know the amount you are losing per trade. So I took it based on the daily flip. Based on the daily. I'm hoping when lending opens, it's going to push it further down. So this is GBP USD. So risk management is very important. Nothing is guaranteed. But the original stop loss is going to be here. Let's see how it's going to happen. If it gets stopped out, fine. Let's see. So we have like 15 minutes for the lending session to open. Because everything is looking good on this trade. Especially this zone is very strong. This zone is very strong. This zone is very strong. So lending session will open around, we're having 22 minutes. So lending session will determine where the market is going to move. But I would prefer if this H1 candle if this candle close bearish, I think it will confirm the entry. If it's close bearish, I think. So please manage risks. If you are risking 1% of the account, you need to. But the daily time frame is looking good. The daily time frame is looking good. But in candle analysis, like how the candle closed without a wick, what does it mean? Yeah, so when candle closed without a wick, it means there was no pullback. But if you look at the previous candles, for instance, most of the candles close with a wick, either a top wick when opening or a bottom wick. Okay, so that's the formality. You see, if you watch these candles, it's close with a wick. That's the nature of how candles usually close. But if you see a candle closing with no wick, now there was no pullback. Okay, there was no pullback, so it needs to make the pullback. Okay, so I think the pullback has been made, so that's why it's pulled back. So if you watch USD card, for instance, yesterday during the New York session, it's close above a zone, but there was no wick. You get this one, so you see the deep pullback. So it normally makes a pullback when it's closed with no wick. You get it? It has to make a pullback before it will continue. So if you watch this candle, the 30-minute candle, for instance, it's close. I think, is it the H? Okay, so I think this broker candle is different from. So it has to make a pullback. Okay, so the pullback I'm talking about is what? If it is moving up, it needs to make a pullback like this before it will continue. So that's what it means. That's what it means. So we are waiting for the lending session. for see our, or to get our faith on where price is going to. But this one, so the H1, the H42 is also looking good. So you see the H4 candle has broken. So I think you could have even entered it around when it broke the low of this one. I think when it broke the low, this point. Yeah. So immediately this one closed. I think that point would have been a nice entry level. Oh, so I think 8 pips difference. So sometimes we're not going to get the perfect. One thing about trading is we're not going to get the perfect signal, the perfect entry signal. So it's been a while. GBP USD went in our favor. Like we got a trade on GBP USD. So I'm hoping today is going to be a blessed day. So the initial break-even point is going to be at this point. Okay. So I hope if you entered, you are in profit now. Wow. If you entered, you have to be in profit by now. I'm very sure this is going to be a massive fall. So making ups and down. Because this level is very strong level. This level is very, very strong. Trend line align at this point. Moving to the H4 time frame. Where is it a weekly or daily? Yeah, so this point to this point. So you have to see a massive drop. You have to see a massive drop. So I'm in profit now. I'm in profit of hoping it's up and down, up and down. So the perfect entry would have been here. 15 pips. So less than 10 pips. It has moved like 10 pips. So from this side, 27 pips drop. 27 pips drop. So I didn't get the correct entry point. So let's see. London session might bring in more volume. It's either going to pull back. So, but if this one close, if this bearish candle close, it's going to be more better. If it close bearish, it is going to confirm the entry more at the H1 time frame. We entered at a very low price. So the entry was taken based on the daily time frame, the daily flip. Okay, so you see this my favorite trade setup. So the same thing happened on the H4 time frame. So an example of that trade setup. Example of that trade setup. Some time ago, it happened on the. It happened. What did I just say? Yeah. So here is it. So you see, it created a resistance over here, and even this one to close with no wick, and it's what it's drop. You can see it over here. So price broke out from the consolidation zone. Price broke out, impulse, made a correction, created a resistance over here. What happened? Price drop. So it's the same thing. I'm expecting it. So it's the same thing that happened on the daily time frame as well. It's the same thing that happened on the daily time frame. You get it. Price drop, pulled back, created a resistance, expecting a drop. Expecting a drop. So let's see. Maybe landing session is going to make it drop more. So we have like 9 minutes. We have like 9 minutes. You have like 9 minutes. You have like 9 minutes for it too. So USD CHF, you see the analysis we did, Charlie. This pair, I think USD CHF needs to be steady. So yesterday we were talking about the buy on the side, but one thing is what, even though price made a pullback, retested on the side, but you see, I normally base my decision on the H4 time frame. Okay, so it was a perfect entry signal. If it were to be on what, the H4 time frame, it would have been a perfect trade signal. Okay, so you have to understand do one thing. Don't be diverting your thoughts on different things. So price decided to move up if it were to be on the H4, you could have taken a buy on this one. See, it has moved like USD CHF. If you get a trade moving in your favor, I think you are going to eat a lot. You are going to eat a lot. So this year I'm sticking to this pairs, this three pairs. So USD card sometimes. But one thing about the nature of USD card is you need to be very patient, because two major session, two major currency open the same section. Sometimes you need to wait for. So normally I'll be taking a break and retest entry on this pair. I'll be taking a break and retest entry signals on this one, not a breakout. So this one example of a break and retest. This one example of a break and retest. An example of break and retest. Example of break and retest. So still in the waiting for the landing to pop up. We have 6 minutes. So I'm just hoping for the H1 to close. Wow. Gold was looking good this morning. Gold was really looking good. The perfect break and rate test created a support. Gold was looking good this morning. I didn't even check. So mostly I analyze my pair and know which pair I'm going to focus on when it comes to the lending session. So when I come straight, I know the pair I'm going to be talking about. I know exactly the pair I'm going to be trading for the session, because when the 10 o'clock and when the New York session close, it's normally close around 10 p.m. GMT. So I know the pair I'm going to be. So this is the daily time frame. Wow, perfect break and rate test on gold. But one thing is, gold doesn't move smoothly. Like, it doesn't move in a straight. If it is moving, it will retrace back and forth before it will even get to the target. That's one thing I don't like about gold. Other than that, I would have even be trading it. But the back and forth, this is a perfect entry signal that if it were to be currencies, it will head straight to this side. But gold will just be doing back and forth, moving back and forth before it will get to the target. But this is a perfect trade signal. Okay, this is a perfect trade signal at the H4 time frame. That's why I don't like trading gold. And gold is it's mainly for those who like scalping. Okay, because they are not going to be in the trade for long. But for me, I normally want the trade to get to my full potential. So this would have been the point you could have entered a buy, allow you to get to the target at this side. This is a perfect trade signal over here. So normally those who are in the trade for maybe 10 to 12 pips, then they take profit. With that kind of system, I'm not good at it. It will normally affect my my psychology. So I don't normally pay attention to or buy that idea. So I want the trade to get to my full potential. Other than that, gold was looking good. So maybe the targets, let me check the risk to reward. The risk to reward is going to be, so 1 to 7.3. 1 to 1.73. So this will be the risk to reward. So it was looking good. So it hasn't gotten to the full potential yet. So it will definitely get to this side. It will definitely get to this side before it will start moving to the. So is this pair going to move or is just going to consolidate? Because I don't want to be in a trade. Either the trade is in my favor before the ADP will start. Before the ADP will start. So it's either I will break even during the ADP news. I will just close my position. So I don't want to be in drawdown during the high impact news, because news as in when it comes to news, there's no certainties. There's no certainty on. There's no guaranteed, because price can just move up and down, stop you out. I don't want to be trapped in that. So I'm hoping the lending session will just move price so that I'll be able to break even. And if I allow it to run and price even come back, so I don't lose anything. That's what I want to see. So we're having like 30 seconds for the lending to open. So lending has opened. Let's hope. So I like the way the candle has closed. So that means if my stop loss is over here, it makes sense based on the H1 time frame. So it makes sense. So maybe just making a pullback, then it will start flipping. It should drop because there's no consolidation zones around it. So at least this candle should get filled. This candle should get filled. At least the whole of this candle should get filled. The whole of this candle should get filled. So 36 pips. So lending open. So what do you people think? Do you people think price will going to drop, or it will just make a deep pullback? Because all the time frames are pointing down: weekly, daily, H4. All those time frames are just moving down. They are all heading down. So we are hoping you are going to see a massive drop. All the time frames are pointing down. So the moment this zone gets filled, I'll break even around this side, then I'll allow the trade to reach its full potential. So when it gets to this side, okay, so I want the H4, this one. If the H4 candle over here like get the candle get to this side, I'll break even, but I'm not going to take any partials. Okay, I'll just allow it to run because I have to get the best out of this trade. I have to get the best out of this trade. The way GU has been dropping, if I'm not in a trade, it should do the same thing today. It should do the same thing today by dropping massively. Oh yeah, I don't know whether the evil eyes are they've been holding the price to drop. Please, the evil eyes, we beg of you, just allow the trade to run. Or the Wall Street people are watching us. Or the Wall Street people are watching us. So now the H1 low has been broken. So as I said, if price gets to this side, okay, if price gets to this side, we are going to break even. But for me, I will allow it to get the full potential because I see a massive drop on this trade. I see a massive drop on this trade setup. So when it gets to this side, I will break even. So that's, we call it trade management. You call it trade management. It doesn't mean you are emotional. You need to manage the trade. Okay. So I'm not going to be in a trade like maybe 30 pips and I'll allow the trade to come and hit my stop loss. For me, it doesn't make sense. Okay, it doesn't make sense. So I'll just, if the trade gets 1-to-1, just have to break even. With that one, you are taking the risks out of the trade. So it is moving. So let me see. So when it gets 1-to-1, I'll just break even. You need to make sure you are protecting your capital. That is the most important. So the reason why a lot of people lose everything when they come to trading is they don't understand the game. You get it? You need to understand the game. Don't think like as people are showing you the big profit. Those people are going to deceive you. You get it? Those people are going to deceive you. You need to make sure like you have acquired the requisite knowledge before you start trading. This is not a fun game. Okay, this is not a fun game. It's a serious game. So you need to make sure you've equipped yourself with a lot of information. And at the initial stage, take it slow. A lot of people just come in, they want to if it is easy, everyone will stop working and be doing it. That's what you have to have it in mind. So the trade has moved. The trade has moved. So it has moved like 18 pips. So at this point, I'm going to move my stop loss to break even. Okay, I'm going to move my stop loss to break even. So I'm taking the Rex out of the table and I'm going to allow it to run. Okay, I'm taking the Rex out of the table. So if price come back to break even, I don't lose anything, I don't gain anything. Okay, because I don't expect price to pull back again. It doesn't make sense to me because we are in volume time. Okay, so you need to factor the time that you are in into consideration. We are in volume time, so I don't expect price to come back again. Okay, so guys, today we have a winning trade. So this month on the stream, you have taken one loss, you have taken one win. Okay, so 1-1. So we had a winning trade today. We had a winning trade today. So you have taken one loss, you have taken one win. So I'm allowing the trade to run because I see a massive drop. Okay, I see a massive drop on this trade. I see a massive drop on this trade. So how many people took the trade? So today, how many people took the trade? If you took the trade and you are in profit, just type W in the chat box. Type W in the chat box. Wow, so the trade is moving massively in profit. The trade is moving massively in profit. So how many people if you took the trade and you are in profit, type W in the chat box. Type W in the chat box. Type W in the chat box. No one took the trade, or those who took the trade they've left. Those who took the trade have left or what? Wow, USDCHF moves crazy. I like this pair. I like this pair. I like the way this pair moves. So guys, no one took the trade. No one took the trade. No one took the trade. So you have taken the risks out of the table. And one thing is, you see, USD has gotten to its peak. So the chances of GBP USD retracing is very high. The chances of, because you see how the daily candle, the daily time frame looks very clean. It should drop. It should drop massively. It should drop massively. The daily time frame is really looking good. So it should drop. That's what I'm expecting. But the actual risk to reward is at this point. So the risk to reward is, I think, the actual risk to reward is, so close to 1 to 3, 1 to 2. So you have taken the risks out of the table by breaking even. So if it comes back, you don't lose anything. You don't lose anything. So as I'm saying, USD has gotten to the peak. So if it starts moving down, then GBP USD would retrace by all means. It will retrace by all means. They normally moves opposite to each other. www www. So now you are 1-1. The markets, you have drawn with the market. So 1-1 for now. So last Monday we took a loss. Today is what? Wednesday. You've taken a win. So 1-1 with the market. By the end of the month, we should beat the market. So this month, I'm just going to focus on the higher time frame. So you see this one, the confirmation was on the higher time frame. I'm going to be very, like as in this year, I'm going to be very vigilant. So price is pulling back. So as I said, since USD has gotten to the peak, the chances of this one retracing is very high. But for me, I've broke even. So if it comes back, but one thing you need to understand is we are heading towards news time. So, okay, so guys, if there was no question, I'll call it a day over here. Is anyone having a question? Is anyone having a question? If if there was no question, see you tomorrow, same time. Okay, see you tomorrow, same time. Bye bye.